In a land a long, long time ago, where Vikings roamed the earth, one man, hello, set out to revive a fallen soldier. This is the final part of that soldier's journey from the grave back to the road. Last time you saw this car, we were in a real state of, panic and disorder. There was no hope for it. Everything was going wrong. It didn't want to get back on the road at all. We were having issues with starter solenoids, wiring, batteries, ignition, points, all these things, and we just couldn't get this bloody car going. We got it going, of course, but we couldn't get it, you go back and watch the other episodes, they're really, really good. It's come on a long way, it truly has. But I thought we'd give it one more episode where I'm going to dig a little bit deeper again, and we're going to go through some of the more complicated ignition side of the wiring. We're going to add in some stuff, we're going to renew quite a bit of stuff, and then hopefully, if she starts singing again, we're going to do a couple of nice jobs. We're going to rewire all the headlights with a nice little kit I've got. We're going to do a little bit of work on the dials panel on the interior, and we're going to take her to Solihull to see where she was made, to see her home once again. So, what should we do first? Let's get all the bits together and I'll show you what we're going to do. So I've got an abundance of stuff on my trolley here, what we're going to have a go at fitting. If we get time, there's a nice headlight wiring kit which we're going to put on to make the headlights go better. We've got all this lovely wire to make all new lovely wires for things like starter motors and batteries. I've got the ends for them and a new crimping machine, which I'm really excited to use because apparently you put these things in and you smack it with a hammer, which is my kind of thing, Got lots of new points, condensers and stuff. A few people in the last episode said the points were burning up because the condenser was bad, but it was actually new condensers in as well. And I think the problem actually lies with the fact that there's no ballast resistor. So you're getting a real high voltage into the coil, which is not good. You should be getting between sort of 6 and 10 volts in the coil when it's running, and I'm getting whatever the battery is charging out, which means the coil's getting very hot and just sending too much juice through the points, and then they're going boom. So we've got new points to fit and a ballast resistor. So this is going to reduce our voltages and it's going to make everything better. I hope. How does this even work? Oh yeah, it's just like a little coil in there, look. We'll go through it, I don't know. And then to make things better again, here is a starter solenoid, 12 volt starter solenoid, which we're going to use in place of the one that this has got, which I think is bollocksed, but I'm not sure. We're going to have a little gander, aren't we? And I've got a new battery down there as well. And that's it. We're going to stick all this together and we're going to hope she sings beautifully. Here we go again on my... what? It's incredible that this actually works, isn't it? Because the whole front end was disconnected and I didn't even measure it up. I just threw it all together. Very nice. So someone else pointed out as well that said, oh my god, it's had a fire in the engine bay. It's not. This is like someone's sprayed the underneath of the bonnet with black underseal, which obviously being an aluminium bonnet it didn't need, and when it's got hot it's just melted. So not ideal, and it would be a bit of a faff to sort of scrape it all off, I think. But anyway, something for the new owner to do. Spend a nice Sunday making it all nice, couldn't you, you know? Anyway, right then. Okay. Yep. What's all this down here? Okay, yep. Keep that for the next car. And this battery holder made of metal and wood. The light's not amazing, but I'm hoping you can get the idea. So this starter solenoid here, everything off it, I mean, that is not in very good there. That's too loose inside there. It's all just a bit gone, and like these are just again very sort of sad, and they've melted through in a few places. And this here, I mean, you can't really tell on camera, but when a wire goes that soft, you can sort of tell that inside of it's going to be pretty useless. So I've got to replace, first of all, this negative cable on the battery, which goes down to that bit of the starter motor there, which is just a big earth. And then, again, I don't know how much you can see, but down here, this bit, which we did tighten in the last episode, goes from the starter solenoid to the hot bit of the starter motor. So I'm going to replace that as well and make that all nice and new and all that sort of good stuff, because again it's a bit ratty. So we're going to go a new one of those, a new one of these, and then the power wire goes to there, and obviously we're going to change that as well, but we'll do that when we're changing the starter solenoid. So first of all, let's just do these two wires here. This is also one of the gearbox bolts. Thankfully there's more than one holding it in though. Otherwise that'd be a problem, wouldn't it? Speed that up a touch. Oh, it's got a nut on the back. Oh. Right then, so that's the length of the old one, which as you can see is just rats, isn't it? Absolutely rats. So, and this is the length of the new one. I'm hoping it's going to be enough, but we'll soon find out, won't we? Okay, well, it's not. I guess we'll save this for something else and we'll make our own. Now, annoyingly, I forgot to order new ones of these, and get loads from Jim Bauer though, so that's okay, but still, I'm going to reuse that one though, because it's only screw-on type. It's hilarious, doesn't even look like it was making that much connection, it was just into the rubber. Just not great. Look at this tray. I'm so organised. I hope you enjoyed the last parts department chat video that I put out, which was a bit of fun. If you did enjoy that, let me know. But also, if you're enjoying this, if there's any way you could just sort of do me a quick favour and jump out and hit the subscribe button, because I think a lot of people do watch these videos, but not a lot of people hit the subscribe button, which means that they probably don't want to watch any others, isn't it? But those of you that do, if you could just jump out and hit the subscribe button, that'd be great. Right, okay, so that's the right sized one of those, fits on there dead nicely. So we need to get a length of wire, ideally that long or similar, and then attach that on one end and that on the other using the new smack with a hammer machine. So how long are we going? I think it was probably about that was it that long? Okay, so yeah, roughly sort of there. cut this off here. Oh. Nice. It's nice to be able to make your own bits, do you know what I mean? Which is why I've invested this tiny amount of money, really, extra little bit of money in this kit, just so I can kind of do it myself, you know, instead of having to buy cables. I'm just cutting this heat shrink off and pulling it through, and then we have all this lovely nice wire. Just give that a quick twist just to keep it all together, pop it inside there, and get my screwdriver and tighten this down. That is perfect, lovely connection, really nice. So that's one side of the battery sorted. I've noticed that this doesn't have one of those, so if we go into bolts, we could find ourselves a new bolt to go through as well, so we can tighten that up, which would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, now it would be grand if all that would stay together and just go inside there. Oh, which it did beautifully. Did you see that? Did you witness? So if we can squash all that down, I think I might have to do this on the floor. Now, I've never done this before, I hope it works. So you lift this up, put that in there, and whoops, you drop it back down on the metal bit, is that right? And then push that home, make sure it's in all the way, and then apparently you smack this with a hammer. Are we ready? Let's just go a little bit nearer the edge. There, perfect. Okay, hope I don't get my fingers. Oh, look at that! That is a nice crimp. Do I flip it over and do the other end? I don't know, maybe. Let's give it a go. Maybe I don't actually. No, I don't think I do, because if I did, it would deform the other bit. But that is a proper good connection. Really impressed. Shall I do it again? I feel like I'd just be playing with it, but I want it to be the best connection possible. Super good. Really impressed with that. That is now a really nice earth wire. Earth wire, you know, battery earth. There you go. Cool. What do they say? Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Give him a new machine to play with and he'll make loads of new wires forever. I don't think that's exactly the same. But there you go. Super solid. That is our nice new negative battery cable installed. First job out the way. Right, what about this one then? Let's start a solenoid. What about this one? Okay, let's take that off there. Okay, this one. It's made out of brass by the looks of it. That's amazing. Two. Okay, keep going. More brass nuts. No brass nuts for me though, because it is a very balmy 16 degrees here today, which is nice, isn't it? Right, that's off, looking pretty sad. So let's match these holes up. Does that one go on there? Sure does, boss. And about this one for the starter solenoid. Now we're going to use the other starter solenoid. I hope this is easy to wire up, by the way. Must be, mustn't it? Surely. Never done one before. Only standard replacements, but they all do similar thing. Right, okay, so it's going to need a terminal that big. Like this one. Perfect. Right, so I'm going to take this back over to the bench, do that same procedure again to make another one of these nice things, and then we'll come back. Nice, fresh, new gear. So let's just pop that back on there. Or was it a nut first? It was, wasn't it? Oh no, it's 2 nuts. Yeah, that's right. So that's on there, and then a washer and a nut. Nice, super tight. Good connection. So that side needs to go to one of the bits of this. Any ideas which bit it goes to? I mean, should we get the other one off? We'll have a look. Okay, let's do that. So how is it attached? Flathead screws. So this is a very olden days starter solenoid. As you can see, it's pretty similar to this one here, except maybe a little bit more like that. Oh, those holes match up. How satisfying, so we can use the original screws. But what goes where? That's the thing. That's where the other end of this is the positive for the battery, and the other end of that is what sends it down to the starter motor. So we've just got to see which one's which on there. Now, I didn't get any instructions with it, thanks, but I did get a little bit of hardware there. So I'm going to look online now. I'm pretty sure that's the 12 volt there, but I just want to make sure, you know. And I'm hoping, do you remember in the first episode I mentioned that we're getting a weird red light on the dash? I'm hoping that this also fixes that, because I think what was happening is there was something inside this old one that was staying on. So hence the new one as well. Right, let's have a look. I don't know if you can see there, but I can see that the terminal for the accessories and stuff is on the top there, and then the 12 volt thing is on the bottom, I'd imagine. You can see obviously that the positive cable, which needs to be rebuilt, also attaches to these 2 cables here. So that's pretty straightforward, and then it had one there. So I'm just going to do the same. I'm just going to attach these cables and the battery cable to this bit, and then the starter to this bit, and this bit I think is either free, or you could use that for your coil. I'm going to measure what comes out of there, and we'll see if it's a better voltage than from the alternator, and if it is, then we'll just use that as an ignition line for the coil. Anyway, let me go and make a new battery cable, and we'll plumb it all together. Because I forgot to buy more of these, I'm going to use this one that we bought already made for the starter solenoid, and to help the new owner out, or whoever works on the car in the future, from making any mistakes, I've put a bit of red insulting tape around it, so it's obvious which one's positive, you know. Right, so I'm going to screw all this back together and then put the battery in, and we'll see what happens. Are you nervous? Where's the fire extinguisher? So this is what we've ended up with. We're all sort of back together over here with nice solid wires everywhere. We now need to just get the battery reinstalled and see, see how quickly we can burn a Rover 100 to the ground. Yeah, that's a new one. No expense spared on this video. Why does everything cost so much? This battery was getting on for 80 quid, you know. Batteries never used to be that much money. Ever, ever, ever. Oh. Okay, we could, I mean, no. This is back to front. The other battery wasn't this way round, which is a little bit frustrating. Negative cable installed. Positive cable, are we ready? Boom! Okay, let's just give them a very light installation in case we need to pull them off in a hurry. Negative, yep. Positive, because it's got the red on it. Right then, so where are the keys? The key's still in it? Yep. Got no lights. We in gear? No. Come on, ignition. Ignition. We've got no starter motor. Did everything right, didn't I? Why no starter motor? Should be, it's all on there, isn't it? Should that be on the other one? Should we try that? Should we be doing this? I don't think so. That cable round, what about now? It did sound like it was trying to make the start motor go though, which is weird. You can see it is drawing current. How frustrating. I can't get it to work. Don't know why. It seems to be doing everything correct, but it's just not spinning the start motor over, which means it's not solenoiding, making a connection. So I've put the old one back together. I'm just sort of resting it on the negative there, because it's supposed to be earth to the chassis. Let's see if this old one works. It did for a second, didn't it? It's not earthed properly. Earth. Oh! I've just found the switch. Everybody was telling me that there was a switch to start it underneath the start solenoid, and I didn't think anything was there. But that's the switch. It's a manual override. Look. How amazing is that? But I can tell this starter solenoid's knackered, because sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not. See, like, how interesting. But it kind of does work. Wonder if I could clean it in any way. How annoying that the other one doesn't work though. There shouldn't be any difference to it. It should just work. I wonder if there's a way that I can test it on the bench. Okay, now can I hear it clicking first? I can't hear it clicking at all. So what it should be doing is, it's like a big relay, just it should be basically making those two terminals one. So it sends the power directly from the battery, and it's not. So the starter solenoid's bad. My brand new starter solenoid's bad. Because it should just click as well. You should be able to hear it go dunk, dunk, dunk. You know, like this one's got, wherever it's gone. That one's got like an up and down sort of push button. It's a similar thing, but just no dunky dunks. That is really, really frustrating. And do you know what? That's the second piece of equipment I've had for this car, brand new, that has not worked. And the annoying thing is I bought this from Car Builder Solutions because I thought that that would be the best thing to do, because they sell good quality parts, and it doesn't work fresh out the box. How frustrating. So we're going to use the old one again, and I think it's not right, but it seems to have been working, so I'll put it all back together and we'll see if it starts on the key. We'll see if it turns the start motor on the key. Okay, old one wired in. Let's start off the key. Our survey says yes. Thank God for that. But how annoying that that new one didn't work. I hope this one lasts. I hope it's okay. I hope all the new cables have helped it stay alive. So now this side of things is buttoned up. I am going to, once we've made sure that it runs okay and all this type of good stuff, I am going to bolt everything here down a little bit better and sort all these clamps out. But I just want to see her singing first before we, you know, so we know we've got everything in the right place. Right, I need to loosen this bolt, pull this lovely machine out, leave these in here and replace all of this good stuff. Replacing the gubbins inside here is pretty straightforward. You just have to take that screw out there, take that screw out there, unclip these, lift it off and put the new stuff on. And then you've got to set this gap. So I've just checked in the book of words and it says it wants 0.4 mil of a gap in there. Now this bit here is where your spark sort of comes to life. That breaks a circuit and then a load of the volts from the coil go through there and make sparks happen, which is really cool and very clever. Now I need to set this so that, see this thing is like a big hexagon? It's because it's lobed, because it's got 6 sides, it's 6 cylinders. Is that right? I think so. I'm making this up as I go along. So when it gets to the highest most point, that's when it's fully open. Now it wants 0.4 of a mil fully open. So when I get to fully open 0.4 of a mil, I need to tighten that screw to make sure that it's not going to move again. So let's find fully open, should be roughly there. And then I'm just gonna, these points feel incredibly cheap by the way, which is great. So I'm just gonna get these and just open that a touch, the gap, slide those home. Now I'm gonna get everything all nice and we should be fully open there. Now that is a nice little gap. It feels a little bit too tight though. Maybe I can get it in there, but I can see it's moving it when I push these through, and it shouldn't move it, it should be free when it goes in. So let's try that again. Where's it gone? There it is. Now make sure I'm fully open. And let's put those through again. And this time I'm going to use 2 hands and I'm going to sort of do it a little bit looser, so where they just start to fall. And that's loads better. So that's not moving as they go in and out. Can you see that okay? I put this in 4K so I can zoom right in. I'm hoping it works. But that should be a nice gap. And then essentially, when it spins round, the gap opens to exactly the right amount and closes again. Can you see that? Very, very nice. So I'm going to put this back in the car and we'll see if it starts. Okay, now everything's roughly wired up and it should all be in the right place. I've not put the ballast resistor in yet because I just want to hear it go boom. And then we can measure very quickly the volts to a couple of places, and we can see what the difference is afterwards. Just a little drink there. Little helping hand, you know. That was a good start. Oh, I've not got the choke out. She's running. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Started well, didn't it? We're getting well too many volts to this coil. On one side, it's pumping out over 12 volts, almost 13 volts directly to the points. It's bad. Should be less than that. On the other side, it's what it's charging at, which is about 14. So, what we need to do is wire this ballast resistor in. So where does it go? I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a little look at it. It's just like a big coil under here. So I guess it's just soaking up some of the volts. Not 100% sure. 1.6 ohms it says there on the side. So we're going to have to wire this up somewhere and make it all good. And then we're going to put this coil back together and we're going to see if I haven't killed that. Because I think I might have killed that, which is why I put this one back on. So yeah. Couple of things to do. I'm going to have a look at a couple of diagrams and find out exactly how this should be wired in, but I think it just goes between this cable, this positive cable, which comes directly from the ignition, the car, the alternator, you know. This is where I'm getting the 13 volts, 14 volts, so I need to put the ballast resistor in the middle of that, I think. Okay, right, leave me to it. I'm all wired in, I think. Let me show you. So the battery is now held down properly because I've put some bolts in it and these are all tightened up with nice things. So that's good, isn't it? Now, this wire here, which goes to the positive on the coil, and then this negative side goes to the distributor. Well, this used to come directly from what I think is just the sort of main live circuit on the car while it's charging from the alternator, which is nicked cool. Now, I was going to use, when we tried to do the starter solenoid before, I was going to try and measure what came off that and use that instead for the coil. Anyway, so this wire now goes to this machine here, which I've bolted in this place to hopefully try and keep cool. And that now goes, so the power comes in here, goes through this series of stuff around this ceramic block and then goes into the coil. So hopefully that's going to sort of make everything a little bit less volty, a little bit less hot. And if you're not sure of how any of that sort of worked, I have drawn a diagram on the board so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'll show you that now. Okay, let's see if it runs. There's loads of, if you need an actual diagram, just Google ballast wiring diagram. Anyway, here goes nothing. It runs, that's the start. Right, this is now perfect, so I'm getting 8.9, 9.3 to the distributor, which is exactly what I wanted. That's what we should be getting when this car runs. And it should stop us burning out any sort of points, you know. Sounds pretty good. Excellent. Needs to warm up a little bit, I think. And I've got to do the timing again now because we had the distributor out, didn't we? Crikey, what a sort of successful day. I'm going to call it a day there because I don't want to push my luck, you know. And I've got a couple of things I need to do. I've got a rear tyre I need to sort out, which keeps going flat. And then we've got a few other little jobs which we need to box off before we can take this thing on the road. So tomorrow, I'm going to get in and we're going to get to work. But I'm pretty happy with the ignition system and stuff now. When it's off the ramp and we can maybe take it outside, we'll be able to see how it's performing a lot better. But now that I've done all that stuff, I'm pretty happy it's going to be okay. Right then, for me, I don't know, 16 hours, 14 hours? I'm very good at maths. For you, 3 seconds. Right. That's never happened before. Interesting. The Rover's just going to take a little time out on the naughty step because it's been leaving lots of deposits while it's been sat there over the last week. Over here, quite a large amount of brake fluid and then oil and stuff over there. I think the seal around the oil filter down there hasn't sealed properly, and I think I've got a brake fluid leak in that corner, possibly from the cylinder again. And I think it may be that the cylinder's too far gone to put new seals on, which sometimes is the case. So anyway, I'm going to get it up in the air and I'm just going to rectify those issues dead quick now, hopefully. It won't take me the rest of the day. I'm going to have to bleed the brakes and stuff again, but what a pain in the arse. Anyway, I'm going to do all that and then we could be, you know, in a position to run this thing around the yard. Because how well did it start then? You know, ran like a dream. I just literally just back to back like brand new. Okay, oh, and I've got to set the timing again as well because I moved the distributor, but the timing seems pretty good. I think it's all right because I remembered exactly where it was from when I said it last time, so shouldn't really have changed. But yeah, okay, I'm going to do all that and I'll see you when it's done. I've redone that. There was another seal inside it, so there was one seal in it. I thought that was that, but then there was another seal smashed away in the top and it wasn't. Anyway, really nightmare design. So Alad's here and I'm going to show him how good this thing starts now. Which way does that go around? Is it like that? I can't remember. Because obviously in the last episode Alad was here and it didn't work very well, did it? So where's the choke down there underneath the key? Yeah, that's pulled out enough. Yeah, not that one next to it.
That one there?
Nope.
Oh, just the full one?
Yeah.
Well, that's enough. Yeah, it's an outbit enough there.
Yeah, go on, fire her up. So yeah, push that in a bit. That'll do, yeah, we'll leave it like that for a bit. Doesn't she sound swell? I'm just going to let her heat up. I just want to watch for leaks anywhere, you know. Just thought I'd show you what's going on So I've cleaned this up to the absolute nines. I've tried everything I can to make it seal, but this top one here just isn't sealing. And I thought I'd show you how. So do you want to press the brake pedal for us slowly? And you can see it there just belching fluid out. And I've tried there's two seals there. There's this one you can see on the outside and one on the inside. And just no dice, just don't want to work at all. So, and this is all floating, everything's fine. So I think this cylinder just wants replacing, which is really annoying because I want to use this car soon. I don't have to wait for a cylinder, but it looks like that's what I'm going to have to do. And it's Friday, so I'm not going to get one till Monday, Tuesday, but what a pain. Right, I might have one more go at cleaning up because I've got one more seal kit left. There'll be nothing left of it after I've been cleaning away at it for so long. Yesterday was a little bit of a living hell. I just can't get that rear wheel cylinder to seal. I almost got the top one sealed and then the bottom one popped, and there's just so much pressure in there, it's just blowing past the seals. So frustrating. Now, I think it's just a little bit too far gone. I sat there with the finest sandpaper just trying to make it perfect so we can get a perfect seal on it, and still no dice. I'm going to have another go this morning, one more go, and I'm going to have to bite the bullet and spend £100 on a replacement one. Do you want to go back on the road or what? Don't think she does. But I left yesterday and I went to the vet to have my ears professionally lowered, which was quite good, but I think they may have cut my hair a little bit short. I kind of look like James May when he turned into a lesbian a few years ago. But the good news is my caps now fit, which is great, and that was the sort of MO I gave to the hairdresser. Right then, I'm going to have another go at this, do my best, have a little bit of a tidy up, and I'll reconvene when I've either thrown all of my toys out the pram or we have breaks. It's quite a pleasant way to spend a Saturday, just sort of looking at the trees and the birds and stuff. It's all very nice. But this is what I'm trying to do. I don't know if you can see, but everything is super pitted on this old Girling 301130. And I'm just doing everything I can to clean it up. I've had little mini files on it. I've just done everything. I've got some 600 now, and I'm just trying to get that nice seal. Inside's fine, inside's really good, but I'm just trying to get that little sort of real smooth surface around the top, because this is where it's leaking from on both sides. It's just leaking from there. Real problem. And I'm going to give this one more try, and if it doesn't work, I'll spend the money and we'll get a new one, you know. The headlights on this Rover P4 are working only on dip beam, and they're pretty crap. There's not a lot sort of going on. However, I can fix that very cheaply and very simply using this. Now, this is an eBay special headlight wiring kit for classic cars. I installed one on the truck and it was brilliant. It is essentially 1, 2, 3 wires to connect to the battery or ignition live, and 2 earths. Great. You then connect these to your headlights, normal headlight plugs, very straightforward, and you plug this into one of the existing headlight sockets, which is where it takes all its signals from to send to the relays. However, this one is going to be slightly more difficult because we don't know which wire is the main beam, the flash. So I'm going to have to work that out, but we're going to stick this on the car regardless of the main beam. I'm going to try and find it. I think it might be a problem with the flash switch, which is on the floor, which is a fairly common thing to go. But we're going to have a look. We're going to do some multimeters and we're going to find out. Now, the reason this exists if you don't know, I'll briefly explain, is that back in the day, these square plastic blocks didn't exist when this car was made, or they did, but they were on much more expensive applications. So the headlights were wired in using lots of wire, essentially. So you had a wire that goes to the battery, then to the switch, and then to each headlight, and it was just miles of cable, which you didn't need. Now, this gets rid of all that, and it just means that the cable you've got going to each headlight is that long. That's it, just that one length of cable. And it draws its power directly from the battery without having to go through switches and stuff first, which means a much stronger light, much more power. You can put uprated bulbs in it, you can put, you know, those shocking blue ones in, you can do whatever you want because it's taking its power directly from the battery, whereas before it was going through all sorts of fuse boxes and just everything was in the way, switches and stuff, very old wiring. If you had like 100 meters, 200 meters of wire, it will give you a lot of resistance, which is what happens. So you've got like, when this battery's all connected up, it goes to the system, but by the time the power has gone from there to the headlight, there's just not much current. It's not able to sort of get as much through there, and it becomes quite dim. This gets rid of all that. So let's fit it. First job is to pull these headlights off again. That there, wow, it's so easy, Ben. What could possibly go wrong? Amazing. So now that's one bit of it wired up. This is so super simple. Have I got that the right way around though? No, I haven't. I'm going to put this on the other side. Let's get the other headlight out. They don't give you tons of room to work here, so it's a good job that the battery was put here. There's an ignition live down there that I can use, which is pretty cool. And I can just attach this red thing to that, mount this thing on the side of the car somewhere like there, and then these bits will go through the wing and do all that great stuff. So I'm just going to do that dead quick and then I'll show you what it looks like. They don't give you tons of wire, as I said, so I've wired it directly to the battery just to save us a bit of space. Now, it's roughly there for the moment, just with a tie wrap, and I need to get this yellow bit through that hole, which I can't because it's too small. Square peg, round hole. However, this quite eye-watering looking thing here, I can make it bigger. Any good? Not quite. Why does it get so hot? Much better. Square peg goes through round hole. Yay. Okay, right. I'm going to get all that through there, and then I'm going to get underneath and we'll sort of like stick it all to these bits and stuff. Now this one here is the signal, and it's going to take its signal from these, what we put on it before, do you remember? I'm going to have to find out which one's the main beam. Put that onto the main beam one. I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? Right, okay. Probably worth mentioning as well, that plug that I just put through there has obviously got to go through the back of this completely solid piece of metal. So annoying. Right, I've got to drill this out. Big hole in that. Okay, on both sides. Let's just do it, it's fine. They took my eyes. Don't worry, you're going to get them back. It's fine. Did that hurt? Good. Same again here. I've just got to have a look for the high beam, but check the difference out on these. As you can see, super bright, nice, good, great, everything's perfect. Now, I've still got to find out the high beam and stuff, so I'm going to have a little bit of a look into that now. There's something there that says high beam, so I'm going to try and sort of work backwards from that. So by following these wires coming from this bit here and working out what's what, I've nailed it down to the switch. Not getting any power past the switch, so it's no good. We've got a real nice bright dipped beam though, so that's going to be good enough for me for now. I'm just going to tidy up all that wiring again, and then hopefully Rob should be here. He says he's going to pop down and help me bleed these brakes, and that'd be ace. I'm just waiting for him to tip up. Rob's helped me. We've got a pedal. I think we're still weeping a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to monitor it. We've just fired her up, and we're going to take her round the yard. For the first time, is this a proper drive?
Maiden voyage.
Who knows? Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
It's very nice, isn't it?
It's a nice place to be, this cabin.
Sounds alright. Oh,
loving all this detail of like Smith's Grand Prix gauges.
Look at that one.
Oh, yeah. Can I
There's something about having a straight cut first gear on these old cars as well.
Makes you feel like a racer.
I think so, yeah. Felt like it was front wheel drive then.
Feel that power.
And a second gear.
Hey!
Oh my god, and it feels like it's got a bit of go. Should we go out with the estate?
Yeah, come on then. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. Oh, the brakes lock as well.
We've got brakes. That's exciting, isn't it?
That's a first.
We've also got, Rob, look at this. Which one is it? This one here?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're desperate for some new blades, but...
Just a bit. I think it was better before you wiped the screen.
I don't know what we could do. We could try and like, could we make those better? Could we slice? Like,
We'll give it a try, can we?
Yeah.
How accurate is your slicing?
Very. God, this thing sounds good! Did you hear that?
Machine!
God, it's like the best mechanic in the world has fixed it.
Hey!
Oh,
hello!
That just came open.
What's in there?
Oh, yeah, straight cut gear. I don't think you can put it into first.
A little fire
when you
extinguisher
move
in
it.
there. Is that supposed to like go on there?
That's supposed to be there, yeah.
Very nice. B for Ben.
Hey!
Oh.
Hey Rob, do you know what B also stands for?
Brilliant.
Beep beep.
It's so much power, it keeps flipping.
Jesus Christ, this thing's so fast! This is the fastest car I've ever driven. It's a 2.6 litre.
Bloody hell.
Let's get this on the Tower of Power. Oh yeah, see, so
bit of poke.
Straight cut.
Yeah.
You got to come to a stop, I think, to get it back into first.
No way. So cool. I'm loving all this like proper old school switch packs and stuff.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah,
really
man.
good.
Is that the choke?
That's the choke completely off. I'm just pushing the envelope, you know.
It's never got this hot.
We need to do something with these wipers. Let's get a razor blade on them when we get back.
Brilliant visibility though.
Yeah.
Driving to Solihull like that.
I mean, it's possible. It's got potential.
Yeah. Got a bit of Rain-X in the garage, haven't you?
Yeah.
There we
Be
go.
fine.
Job's a good one. Handbrake
It's
work.
flashing light. Yeah, handbrake's amazing. Look at this for an absolutely genius MacGyver. We just nicked the wiper blade off another car, good one, and then cut it down to length and slotted it into this thing.
Reverse engineering at its finest.
Yeah, she will go to the ball. Oh, park. There you go. Lovely, I'll do that a little bit for you. Right, let's get her tucked up for bed because she might be having a big day tomorrow. It's 2 p.m. the next day. I've had a little bit of stuff I needed to box off elsewhere, so I've not had time to take this out on the road today, which is a shame because I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm going to do it tomorrow and I'm excited about it. So I thought I'd spend the last couple of hours today, just nip down here and just do a few little jobs. Now, I wanted to put all this stuff back together. Now, this amazing book of words like adapter in elbow for hose, gives you perfect images of how things are supposed to be put together. These two pieces. Now, as you can see, this comes out, this goes into the carburetor, up into this air cleaner here, down into this sort of oil bath air cleaner there. All very well and good until you put an alternator in the way. So now this big hunk of metal quite simply doesn't fit. So this one I could put on, but I'm just having a look at it and it doesn't really do much anyway. It's all a bit like, I mean, where does the, it's just, well, it doesn't really do much anyway. So I could put that on and just sort of, that would be something, wouldn't it? And then the new owner can maybe put a nice little pancake filter on it or something right on the bottom down there of the SU, the carb, which would be really, really good. So I'm not going to put all that stuff back on. I'm just going to tidy it up and maybe stick the other bit on. What I am going to do is I'm going to tidy these wires up, just sort of try and get everything held together so it's not away from anything, because I did melt the fuse holder onto the exhaust yesterday, but thankfully it's all still working. So yeah, I'm going to do that first, and then I was thinking of bringing out the old MOT in a can. That's much nicer and hopefully should be much more reliable. So under the engine bay, my work's pretty much done for now anyway. I don't know if I'd ever do any more to this. I don't know, considering keeping it around for a bit, driving it, if it behaves tomorrow, you know. I don't know, it just feels like it's going to, but if it takes me 10 hours to get back and involves a recovery truck and all this type of thing, then maybe I'll think again. But at the moment, I just think it's a really cool old car. Don't know about you. But to get away from the eye of PC plod, I just want to try and make it look like it's not just been dragged out of a hole and sort of briefly resurrected over a couple of weeks. So we're going to go back to the MOT in the can. MOT in the can is brilliant. I'll show you. What should we use? Here we go. This is Austin LMK Champagne Beige Base Coat. This isn't that colour, but it's the closest thing I've got. It's not white. I've tried a bit of white on it and it stands out massively. I've tried a little bit of this on it and I bet you've not even spotted it yet. That there. So let's go around and do, well, pretty much the same as what the previous owner did and just paint over stuff. So there's a few areas like this where it's got a little bit brown and I think it would benefit from something like this. Mainly just to sort of take your eye off it, you know. And if we do get pulled over, I can say, look, you know, I'm just about to start doing the bodywork on it. All the mechanicals are good. Just got a little bit of road testing to do, officer. Now, obviously, these wing tops, or workbenches, as I refer to them, I'm going to give them a quick wipe with some sort of panel wipe, just to get rid of all the oil and brake fluid and stuff that's on there. I'm going to give those a little bit of a treatment as well. Might just mask these bits off so I can do this rusty bit there. You get the idea. What about this bit down here? God, it looks like practically brand new car. This is incredible. What about this bit? God, if you can't beat them, join them, eh? From a few metres away, this is going to look brand new. Oh, down here is pretty bad. Oh my God, it's like it just rolled out the factory. This is incredible. God, what a fresh and good looking car. I think she looks absolutely superb. I mean, what else do you want, you know? This beautiful old P4. It's just about taking your eye off things, you know? Because you've got to think now, from here, yes, you can tell that someone has just thrown a rattle can at it, but from over here, God, doesn't it look good? What a superb bit of kit. It's like a brand new car parked in there, isn't it? And, you know, you've got to think maybe this is how far the police will be away from me. Do you know what I mean? As you approach this, frankly, almost pristine example of a Rover 100, you will notice that the interior is actually in pretty sweet nick. Now, what we need is a new carpet set and new seat covers. But, you know, it's all there. The seats are still very seaty, everything's all together. It doesn't look like it'd be too much of a nightmare, just a carpet set and a set of seats, you know, set of seat covers, which are available. Am I going to do that? Am I hell? But the next owner might want to, you know. I don't know what they do with this car, you know, sort of maybe get a new front wing, new inner wing, maybe just sit there on the drive and just sand the whole thing down, get it really, you know, a new wing bolted on, the front end sort of all shaped properly and matched properly with all new hardware and bolts and all that sort of stuff. Take some time going over it, you know, sand the whole thing, get a couple of bits of new trim, and then, yeah, get it painted. It'd look really smart. It's solid. It's totally solid. Underneath, floors, everything, solid bit of kit. And inside is really, really nice. But there's one thing that just stares in your face and lets you down. And it's this. Now, it's just rats, isn't it? It's just nasty. Now, I can do something about that. That's something that I want to do, because I don't want to look at it all the time. I want to look at something better as I'm driving along. So I'm thinking, let's take it out and cover it and put it back in. I've got some cloth that will work and will look really nice. Doesn't look like too hard of a job, does it? Just thought, I wonder if the clock works. That's roughly the time. Let's see if it stays roughly the time. Okay. Oh, cool. Oh, wires by the million. So which is the tight one? What's holding it in? Ah, so we've got the oil pressure. Is that oil pressure? Yeah, let me try and undo that. Will it undo by hand? Probably not. God, look at all these wires. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, there is a vacuum gauge there. Yeah, vacuum gauge that's disconnected on there, so that might work. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? God, what a bird's nest of cablings. Okay, let me get a little spanner to get this oil thing off. Now I'll get a few photos of where everything is and start taking the gauges out. Look how that one's held in. It's not stupid if it works. What an absolute joy to behold. There's some wires and stuff that weren't even actually connected but were inside the things. Just, yeah, pretty bad. So essentially I'm just going to sort of pop these things through now. Just very easily, like this. What's this one for? Is this just a normal temperature gauge? It's telling us the outside temperature in Fahrenheit. This is what I'm left with after the gauges have been removed. So get this tape off. Dead easy doing all of this with one hand. I'm trying to show you like sort of up close what I'm doing rather than just being on the tripod all the time. But anyway, it's really easy with one hand. So yeah, I'm going to now cover this, cut slots where these holes go, and stick all them things back through. How hard can that be? The big metal door. Look at these beautiful things. Why is that so wet underneath the panard? This is my cave of like working on. I'm still working on, still doing bits on these. Not finished yet. That Panhard is possibly my favourite car in the world. Not exaggerating. It needs a few bits though. It needs a headlight wiring kit and stuff like the brake lights fixing and some oil leaks sorting and all that sort of stuff before I can sort of happily drive it around. But we'll do another episode on that soon, I think. I just love looking at it. Do you want to have a close look? Isn't it the most gorgeous thing in the world? This is... it's water, so that's good, because it does leak a bit, this thing. And there's no water in this car, it's only oil. Oh my god! I bet you any money if we just squirted a bit of Easy Start down there, this thing would fire up straight away. But we'll save this for another video. If you haven't watched the video on this Panhard, by the way, it's probably the most epic adventure I've ever done with a car. This thing was laid up in a barn for 40 odd years. And it was buried into the earth until I sort of rescued it and got it back into the running car that it is now. Oh yeah, we need to do the windscreen wipers as well. This thing that I keep nicking bits off and I really need to stop doing it. We're going to see that soon, hopefully. Been off the road for a very, very long time. And just needs paint now. And a little bit of interior and wheels and stuff, which are hidden in these boxes here. So exciting. I just need to do it. Right, this is what I came in here for though. Oh no, that's the Triumph stuff. This thing as well, bloody hell, there's a few, you know, things to do, isn't there? This thing is a Morris Traveller. It's a project of mine and my friend Alad's. Oh no, the bonnet's starting to rust. That's okay, could be worse. And yeah, we're going to get stuck into it at some point in the future. But I'm looking for the special cloth that I'm going to use, which I think is in here somewhere. There it is. Oh god. Ah. There we go, nice bit of grey cloth I've just been using for everything for years. It's still going. Right, okay, cool. All the projects, I say not all the projects, just the projects that are in here, because there's another 3 outside that you haven't seen yet, and I'm potentially picking another 2 up this week as well. I need to get cracking. And hopefully after you've seen this, it won't be long until the next Resurrection's out, and I've not decided which one I'm going to do yet. What about this bit here? This looks good. Oh yeah, perfect. Where's the blade? Tiny. Right, stick that back in stock. Be nice if I could like try and find the music off Blue Peter, wouldn't it? That'd be quite fun. So it's going to sit like this on there. So I'm just going to cut round this. Or I'll just move that up. There we go. Cut along this bit here. And then get a load of spray glue, cover both bits in spray glue, and then just slam it on. I think that's what you do, isn't it? Don't get this stuff in your hair. It's quite a liberal amount, I hope that's enough. Would it go this way? Okay, and I think you have to wait for a bit for it to go tacky, and then you sort of put them together, but I don't like waiting for things, so I'm not going to. Right, that's on there. Oh wow, isn't it perfect already? Okay, and then just fold these bits over. Oh, maybe I should do a bit around the edges here. Nice, okay, maybe like that. Ooh. Nearly. Nice. That is a lovely job. So I'm just going to leave that to dry for 7 seconds, and I'm going to cut some holes in here and shove the gauges back through. Pretty happy with that so far, considering how it's only taken us 30 seconds. So carefully. I need this to be sharper. Right, now just to try and prove the theory, let's find out which gauge went there and we'll shove that one through. It was this little cherub here, so let's just see if this wants to play. Oh, it's a bit tight. Come on. Come on. Come on. God, Jesus Christ. Come on. Oh, yes, we're in. Okay. And it goes like that. Does it go like that? Don't tell me I've done this the wrong way around. No, that's right, yeah. Sits like that. Try and straighten it up. Okay, that's straight enough. Cool. Really nice. Love that. Squeeze down. Nice, 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 nice. Gauge number 2 installed. So it was the tacho was there. He's cut these so well, considering how badly the rest of the cut was put together. Oh Jesus. Go please. No? Oh, and we're in. Okay. Oh nice. Very sexy indeed. Shame it Doesn't have a glass on it. Shame this one doesn't have a glass on it. A lot of things are a shame, aren't they? Still works though. Okay, what's next? This one was next, I think. There we go, spin that round. This is oil temperature, which is pretty cool. I wonder if that actually does anything, if it's actually got a reader anywhere, because I didn't see anything, but we'll have a look when we put it all back in. Oh, jeez. Oh, please, one more. Oh, God. So close I can feel it. Yes, right. Okay. Oh, so good so far. Right, last one, this one. Quite pleased with how that's turned out. Looks a lot better than how it did before. I'm just gonna get my head around wiring everything back in, stick a couple of self-tappers in it, get it into the dash, and yeah, nice little gauge cluster. We're back in and everything's connected up, and good golly does it look better. Really, really pleased with that. Again, it's just one of those things, you don't want to be sort of pulled over and someone see just a load of gauges held in with gaffer tape. It's not going to look good, is it? But this is presentable and drivable and goodable. Doesn't it start well now as well? So we've got vacuum, which tends to sit around fair, but it's probably because there's a leak in the line for the gauge. Got battery, which should be there. Let's just put it, I'll put it about there. There you go, that's working. And then you've got rev counter, which, yeah, kind of works. At least I know when I'm revving it. And I've got an oil pressure gauge, which again, I do think is actually working properly. The only one maybe. And oil temperature. Looks like that's creeping up nicely. So yeah, kind of got gauges. Really, really good. And I think, you know, it would be quite simple for someone to replace them with gauges that are new and that work, because everything's there. So that's fantastic news, isn't it? I'm gonna get this thing parked up now, and then tomorrow we're gonna hit the road. You're gonna come with me. Let's go and see what's left of the Rover factory, or what it's now turned into. I think it's a Land Rover factory, so don't tell a Discovery, it'll get jealous. Hi, how's your morning going? Mine's great! So, got everything ready, got the car all packed. I thought to myself, it started a little bit slow, and I was like, let me just check something. And I'm going to check again in a second, but it wasn't charging. Now I don't know if it's just because the alternator needs to warm up or something mental. I'm going to try and spray a bit of plus gas into it. That does help sometimes. But yeah, just come on. So what we're going to do, the first thing is we're going to take it down to the petrol station. Down that way in Tarpley, we're going to put some fuel in the boat tank, and we're just going to see what it drives like and stuff. So jump in with me, let's go. Where's the seatbelts? Anybody know? I don't think we're charging still. I've just sprayed a load of plus gas in there, and well, nil point. England, nil point. Okay, let's go to the petrol station. Who knows what might happen while we're going there? You know, it might come back to life, it might not. Ooh, what we could do as a drive instead is drive to Jim Barrow's and try and find a new alternate. Actually, no, I can't find a new alternate, can I? Because I've gouged all those bloody holes out of it to make it fit. I'd have to get a new one and gouge loads of holes out of that. Or have this one rebuilt, I don't know. Right, let's go to the petrol station. Cross your fingers that it comes back to life. Well, hey! How's the car driving? Okay, so far. Still got brakes, that's a good sign. Probably should have tried them earlier. Oh, there's that first gear again. Here we go. We are on the road in the Rover for the first time in a million years. This thing is on the road. I'm not sure when it was last on the road. Oh, it's a Citroen 2CV. Oh, lovely, look at that. I can't remember when this thing was last on the road. It doesn't make any sense when you look on the MOT history compared to what the car's like, but we are motoring. Look at this! Come on! Oh my god, it feels great! Oh, please charge. I want to go to Solihull. Please charge. Look at us, we're doing 55 miles an hour. Oh my god, this thing is rapid. Oh wow. I've got oil pressure, I've got poor vacuum, which is great. I'm still saying 12 volts, but I don't think that works anyway. What a machine. It's cruising along like nobody's business. This engine was locked up, it was seized solid. It was one thing at one point, it was one block. And look at us now. Across the roundabout, smooth as silk in my big Rover. Hello everybody, hello. Oh, listen to that big straight six pulling us along. Oh, did something just fall off? No, it's fine. Whoa, get in your own lane! Fucking hell, did you see that? You got killed by that lorry. Oh my god. Good job, I'm such a good driver, isn't it? That lorry driver was probably running off about 3 hours sleep and a load of cheap whiz or something, wasn't he, you know? God, this thing feels great! It's on the road! Come on, charge, please. We'll measure it again when we get to the petrol station. Come on. You can do this. I believe in you. What a luxury automobile. It feels great. I wish this thing was charging. It feels like it feels almost like a modern car. You know, you compare this to like the Panhard, which isn't that much older than this. And this is a completely different ball game. Much more luxurious. Look at me just blending in with traffic. You beautiful thing. I could just see the long sweeping bonnet. Thank you. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Right, petrol station. Okay, here we are. Handbrake on. And she still sounds like a real car, and there's no like clouds of blue smoke or anything coming from behind. We're fueled up. Come on, baby, let's see you start. Okay. Are you worried? I'm not worried. Let's find somewhere to pull up and we'll have a look in the engine bay. Now that we've done 2 miles, should we do another few miles first? Let's do another few miles, and then we can see if we've got any chronic leaks or something as well. It's got quite a nice little mirror up here as well. It's quite good. Good vision, good visibility out of this car. I feel like a top gear view. It's very comfortable. Visibility is great. Doesn't charge, constantly breaks down, doesn't want to be back on the road. But apart from that, really good. Clock doesn't work. Very spacious inside though, very spacious. And yeah, I feel like I could drive this anywhere if it was charging. What do I have to do? How can I fix it? Oh, first gear is very, very low on this. feel like you could probably easily start in second, but there we are. Look at me keeping up with this Mondeo. Ah, what a thing! A thing of beauty. Where are we going? I've got another battery with me, so let's try and get a few more miles at least. An annoying thing for the Top Gear style review is that you can't put this window down all the way, so putting your arm on it is a little bit painful. Whatever. Something to get used to, I think, you know, my new daily driver. Temperature gauge, if it works, which I think it does, is reading a real nice temperature, looking very normal, right in the middle. Moves up and down a tiny little bit, but usually stays below the middle, which is great. Keeping up with traffic so well. It feels like it could be any car. Roving around in my Rover. The Viking's back on the road, albeit maybe not, you know, we've got a couple of things we need to sort out, but gearbox wise, don't know if the overdrive works, you haven't tested that, but everything else sort of looks like, with a couple of finer things sorted out, that this could be an actual real car. Brakes feel good, steering feels tight, nice. Feels a lot better than some of the cars I've driven, do you know what I mean? Let's go down here. We're a few miles in, and I've just stopped down here because it's very beautiful and I love canal boats. Don't know what it is about canal boats, I just like them. I like the idea of a canal boat. I like how they're slow and they go putt, 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 putt. Something wistful about it, isn't there? You know? Right, so how's the Rover doing? Well, to start with, I mean, all right, like, it drives incredibly well so far, really, really good. I'm so annoyed about the charging thing. It was charging perfectly the other day, which is making me believe that it might come back to life. But it was charging absolutely perfectly. It's getting a good, 13.5, 14 volts out of it. And now, nada. So I'm going to fire up again, and I'm going to check what she's putting out. But let's have a quick look in here. Any massive leaks from down there? Not really, no. This all looks quite nice. Fuel, everything looks pretty good. Nothing flying out. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get the multimeter and we'll fire her up. Bugger, still nothing from the alternator. Not 100% sure what to do. I'm gonna have a quick look at the map and maybe take another sort of lap round and sort of try and ease myself maybe back to the workshop and have a little think. But as it stands, I think we'll probably get, I don't know, maybe another 20 miles or something, and then she'll die because there won't be enough volts to run her. And if we get back in the dark, we have to use lights or anything like that, it'll just be a nightmare, won't it? So yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit more of a spin round. You can come with me. We'll see how this thing acts on the roads. Maybe give, you know, try and breathe a bit more life into it. And cross our fingers. It does strike me as obvious now as well, but that big red light in the dash, it does mean that it's not charging. I imagine that's the battery light, which is a pain, but it is what it is. Which way should we go up here? Uphill, down dale. Very muddy down this bit. Oh, fucking hell, right, am I going to want to get... Right, here we go. Oh, off-roading in my Rover. Look at this for a flood. Going through a flood in my Rover. Oh God, if the electrics weren't working before, they're certainly not going to be now. Might be worth adding at this point as well that I've got no idea where I am. I'm hoping we're going to end up near Beeston Castle, which should be good fun, and has another place we can sort of pull up. But isn't it lovely round here? So nice. See that little Proton jumper pickup truck there? Really cool. We're now back on a main road. That's exciting, isn't it? Let's see if overdrive works. I think it might be this switch. Maybe not. What other switches have we got? What about this one? No, what about this one? Oh! It was in overdrive! Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Overdrive does work, but it was already in it this whole time. How frustrating. So instead of changing down a gear now, coming to this roundabout, let's just flick the overdrive off. Nice, okay. There's a big hill here. Let's try and go up it, just for a lap. Get this thing under load, come on! This would be perfectly usable, this car, perfectly usable. If the alternator works. Well, I can smell something getting a bit hot. Switch the overdrive back on. We made it to the top of the hill. And we are stopped. Handbrake on. What do we think so far? She's just had the thrashing of her life up that big hill, hasn't she, you know? What's that? Okay, pop the bonnet. So I did fill this up with water earlier on, and I'm hoping, yeah, it doesn't look wet there. I'm hoping it's just from the overflow pipe, as it's got a bit of pressure into it. I can't actually see, but it's having a good old drip down there, isn't it? Again, can't massively see. This thing's smoking. I think that's just sort of burning carbon from inside the engine, which is cool. Yeah, I can't tell what's actually leaking. I think it's just the overflow, and that's what I'm going to go for now, because maybe I filled it up too much. I did put like a kettle's worth in it, and I don't think it needed it. Right, let's fire up again and check this alternator once more, and then I think we're going to call it. Right then, here we go. No, we are not charging. Well, it did fluctuate then, didn't it? So we're not charging. Real pity, real pain. Not a lot else I could sort of do, really. I think this alternator has given up the ghost. I've checked the off the back, and we're not charging from that either, from the thick cable there. So it is what it is, isn't it? No charge, no go. Let's fill it with plus gas again though. So I have brought several alternators back to life by doing this very thing. And it's all to do with sort of cleaning up all the crap that's inside it. How's it revving up? She sounds good. Sounds meaty. What's this leak doing? I mean, it's pretty much stopped. So I think it was just the overflow, but it doesn't look like it has stopped. And that's either because it's not sort of expanding anymore, or it's run out of water. One of those two. Right, okay. So by revving it, we're getting 0.2 of a volt. Sad times. The other batteries that I've got are crap as well. Such a nice day. Oh well. Now look, I'm not ready to call it a day yet. I want to carry on driving this thing now that I've just put all that plus gas in there. And I want to test a few other things. I want to test Is it getting too hot? Is that why the water's coming out? Ah, the brake's okay. And the electric's okay. Is everything else okay on the car? The gauges are all working as well, by the way, which is amazing. Every single gauge is working. Oil temperature's perfect. It's just great, really, really good. But I just want to know if everything else on the car is good, then maybe all I need to do is replace that alternator. Amazing. It drives just like a normal car. Fantastic, although I think the indicators might have stopped working, which is possibly a battery issue. But yeah, if everything else works on the car, I just need to do the alternator, and at least I could sort of mooch about in this thing for a bit, which would be great fun, because it's a great fun old bus, you know, and it's stuff that I could do in my own time. Because I think you've probably seen enough of this old girl now, haven't you? But how good is it to take her on the open road? Do you remember what she was like? Honestly, do you remember? It was dead. This was a dead car, completely dead. There was no hope for it. And look at it now. It's like a fast, usable 60s classic car. It's got tons and tons of power. Tons of power. Brakes feel nice and, you know, modernish. Tons of power. So good. Right, where are we going? Left here. Now I'm just going to pull up here. This looks like a fantastic photo opportunity for this old girl. So look, I've picked the windiest place in Cheshire to come and end this video, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to end this video. There's some Ginettas running around the track. I'm at Alton Park, if you didn't notice by the sign as I was driving in. The thing with Ginettas is nobody really cares about them apart from the children driving them and their dads. Anyway, so what a beautiful machine. She is an absolute, well, he. Cars are always she, but this is a he. This is the Viking. I'm going to call this the Viking. The Viking feels good. It's driving perfectly. So pleased with how it's come over these last 3 sort of videos. And I'm hoping you can agree. There was nothing there, do you remember? It was completely dead. The car was completely dead. And now she's running and driving beautifully, but she's not charging. I need to put an alternator on it. It's a shame we didn't make it down to Solihull, but I just, you know, it's one of those things. I would have to go and find the same alternator. I would have to cut big chunks out of it to make it fit and do all that again. And frankly, it would just be quite boring for you guys to watch all that happen and then, you know, do it again. This is fine, this is good. I'm going to do that in my own time, and I'm going to make this car usable, because it's there, it just needs to charge, and then it would be a very, very usable classic Rover. Me and the Viking can go on many adventures home and back. But look, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your company and I appreciate your support. If you want to support me in any way that you can, the best way... Okay, that wasn't a Janetta. It's quite a naughty M3. Right, yeah. If you want to support me any way you can, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. That would be a huge thing for me. Just give it a slam and that would be great. Bloody hell, that's Mercedes GTR. It must be some sort of prep day, you know, race day, testing day. But yeah, if you have got any money to spend, go on the Patreon, give it a click and, you know, help me out there. Help me buy alternators for classic Rovers. And again, look, thanks a million for watching. You've been so good. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.